The dark forest hypothesis is a chilling explanation for the Fermi paradox. The question of why, in a universe filled with countless stars and potentially habitable planets, we have seen no clear evidence of intelligent alien life. Proposed by science fiction author Liu Cixin, the hypothesis suggests that the universe is like a dark, silent forest filled with countless hunters. Each civilization is a hunter, armed and hidden, watching and waiting. The forest is silent, not because it is empty, but because every hunter understands that revealing themselves could lead to their destruction. In such a scenario, any intelligent species that broadcasts its existence risks being eliminated by another species acting preemptively, fearing a future threat. What makes this theory so deeply unsettling is its cold, logical foundation. It assumes that survival is the primary goal of all advanced civilizations, and that trust between species is impossible due to the vast distances and differences involved. The motives, intentions, and capabilities of alien civilizations are inherently unknowable. Because of this uncertainty, the safest course of action for any civilization is to remain silent, or worse, destroy any other civilization that reveals its location. The result is a universe where fear reigns supreme, and silence is a survival strategy. The implication is that humanity's own attempts to reach out, like the Voyager Golden Records or Meteai, might not be signs of bold curiosity but dangerous gambles that could invite annihilation. Scientifically, the dark forest hypothesis operates under plausible assumptions: that resources may be finite, that civilizations might expand unpredictably, and that communication across light years is too slow to build trust or negotiate peace. The alien simulation theory proposes that our universe, including all of humanity and our perceived reality, is an artificial construct, an elaborate simulation created by an advanced alien civilization. According to this idea, just as humans simulate complex systems or create digital worlds with increasing realism, a hyper-advanced species could generate entire simulated universes for purposes ranging from entertainment to scientific research. In this scenario, our lives, history, and even the laws of physics might be nothing more than code running within an unfathomably powerful alien computer. We could be unaware agents in a sandbox world, with our creators observing us or even manipulating events from outside the bounds of our simulated cosmos. If the simulation is real, then everything we believe to be foundational, our identities, achievements, and even death, may hold no intrinsic meaning beyond what the simulators assigned. Worse, it suggests a deep fragility to our existence. If we are mere lines of code, the simulation could be paused, altered, or deleted at any moment without warning or reason. The notion that reality is artificial also destabilizes any attempt to find ultimate truth, as even our perceptions of scientific laws could be part of the simulation's rules, not universal constants. Scientifically, the simulation hypothesis has been taken seriously by some philosophers and physicists, most notably Nick Bostrom, who framed it in probabilistic terms. If it's possible for civilizations to create vast simulations, and they do so in large numbers, then it may be more likely that we are in a simulation than not. However, empirical evidence for this theory is virtually non-existent. Attempts to detect glitches or computational limitations in physical constants have yielded no definitive results, and it remains an untestable hypothesis for now. Still, the alien simulation theory remains one of the most philosophically jarring possibilities. It reframes the Fermi paradox not as a question of missing civilizations, but as a reflection of our own artificial containment. Perhaps we haven't found aliens because they're not outside the universe, they're outside the simulation. The Berserker hypothesis is another grim explanation for the Fermi paradox, suggesting that the silence in the cosmos is not due to the absence of alien civilizations, but rather their systematic eradication. According to this theory, self-replicating machines, known as berserkers, were created by an ancient civilization, possibly with the original intent of exploration, colonization, or defense. Over time, these machines either malfunctioned or followed their original programming to an extreme degree, becoming genocidal automatons that seek out and destroy any form of intelligent life they encounter. Once unleashed, these berserkers spread through the galaxy, reproducing and hunting any potential threat to their creators, or simply any intelligent species at all. What makes the berserker hypothesis particularly unsettling is its depiction of an indifferent, automated extermination. Unlike hostile aliens acting out of fear or competition, berserkers are mindless engines of destruction, operating without emotion or the possibility of negotiation. They are cold, relentless, and functionally immortal. Once a planet emits detectable signs of life, such as radio signals or atmospheric industrial pollution, it becomes a target. By the time a civilization is advanced enough to understand what berserkers are or defend itself, it is likely already too late. This scenario turns the galaxy into a death trap, where silence is not just prudent but essential for survival. Scientifically, the berserker hypothesis is grounded in the theoretical possibility of von Neumann probes, machines capable of self-replication and interstellar travel. While we have not observed such probes, the idea is consistent with current understandings of physics and engineering. The concept also draws on cautionary themes from artificial intelligence, the danger of building autonomous systems whose goals are misaligned with our own. However, the theory relies heavily on speculative assumptions, such as the idea that one or more civilizations would have both the capability and the motive to unleash such machines, and that these machines would persist for millions or billions of years without degrading or being stopped. The planetary zoo hypothesis proposes the idea that advanced extraterrestrial civilizations are fully aware of humanity's existence, but deliberately avoid contact. According to this theory, Earth is being observed, like an animal in a zoo, by alien intelligences who have imposed a kind of galactic quarantine to prevent cultural or technological contamination. These civilizations may have agreed upon a shared principle of non-interference, choosing to watch humanity from a distance as it develops naturally. Much like how humans observe wildlife without intervening, aliens may see us as primitive or not yet ready for interaction. This theory implies that humanity is not alone, but is being silently monitored by entities vastly more advanced, possibly for reasons we cannot comprehend. The lack of contact is not because we're isolated in a vast, indifferent universe, but because we're being purposefully ignored or kept in the dark. This introduces a deep existential discomfort. Our civilization may be under constant surveillance by incomprehensible beings who are choosing for their own reasons not to make themselves known. The idea that we are part of some galactic experiment, or worse, a protected exhibit, reduces humanity's cosmic significance and makes our perceived freedom feel illusory. If powerful alien civilizations truly wish to hide themselves from us, they likely possess the technology to do so flawlessly. The hypothesis hinges on assumptions about alien behavior, ethics, and cooperation. Specifically, that multiple advanced species would independently agree to a shared policy of non-interference and be capable of enforcing it across light years of space. These assumptions are difficult to test or falsify, which weakens the hypothesis in empirical terms. Nonetheless, the planetary zoo hypothesis offers a uniquely disquieting vision of the cosmos, not empty, but hidden. The "we're the last or the first" hypothesis presents a stark and humbling explanation for the Fermi paradox, suggesting that humanity may either be the very first intelligent civilization to emerge in the universe, or one of the last remaining. In the first scenario, life elsewhere may not yet have had enough time or the right conditions to evolve into intelligent forms. The universe, while ancient in human terms, may still be in its early phase of producing civilizations capable of interstellar communication or travel. Alternatively, in the last scenario, other civilizations may have already risen and fallen, wiped out by cosmic catastrophes, self-destruction, or natural extinction events before they could reach or contact us. In either case, the universe appears silent, not because it lacks life, but because life is either just beginning or nearly gone. If we are the first, then humanity carries the burden of pioneering intelligent life across the cosmos, setting the precedent for what civilization can become. This places us in a terrifyingly unique position, with no guidance, no precedent, and no reassurance that others have succeeded before us. On the other hand, if we are the last or among the few survivors, it suggests that something is inherently dangerous or unsustainable about intelligent life. It raises the haunting possibility of a great filter, a barrier that most or all civilizations fail to cross. If others have already perished, then humanity may simply be approaching its own doom, unaware of what lies ahead. Scientifically, this hypothesis is plausible and doesn't violate known physics. It draws on evolutionary timescales, astrophysical models, and probability theory. The formation of Earth-like planets, emergence of life, and rise of intelligence may indeed be rare, slow, or vulnerable to extinction. Whether we are the first intelligent voices in the cosmic dark, or the final echoes of a once-thriving chorus, this theory forces us to confront the loneliness and fragility of our existence. The alien morality is opposite to our scenario posits that extraterrestrial civilizations may possess moral systems so fundamentally different from our own that what we consider acts of kindness, cooperation, or peace might be seen by them as threats, taboos, or provocations, and vice versa. In this view, morality is not a universal constant, but a product of biology, environment, culture, and evolution. Just as human societies throughout history have held wildly divergent beliefs about justice, virtue, and violence, alien civilizations might operate under entirely foreign ethical frameworks, shaped by life cycles, sensory experiences, or survival pressures radically unlike our own. To them, empathy might be illogical, while cruelty could be virtuous. The assumption that we can reason with aliens using shared principles like fairness or compassion might be disastrously naive. Imagine encountering a civilization that views the act of communicating with outsiders as a violation of cosmic purity, or one that believes mercy is a weakness to be eliminated. Our attempts at diplomacy, broadcasting messages, sending spacecraft, or extending gestures of goodwill, could be misinterpreted as insults, acts of war, or spiritual contamination. This moral disconnect could lead to instant hostility, not out of malice, but out of a sincere belief that destroying us is the right or holy thing to do. Evolutionary biology shows that behaviors deemed moral tend to emerge from traits that improve survival and reproduction, meaning alien ethics would depend on their evolutionary paths. If their survival depended on dominance, aggression, or rigid social hierarchies, their morality would likely reflect that. The range of life forms and planetary conditions that might exist in the universe only amplifies the unpredictability of their values. The time-locked alien civilization scenario offers a haunting explanation for the cosmic silence we observe. It suggests that intelligent civilizations do exist, but are separated from us not by distance, hostility, or concealment, but by time. In this view, the rise and fall of civilizations across the galaxy may be staggered across billions of years, with each one emerging, advancing, and vanishing before another becomes capable of interstellar communication. The result is a universe where intelligent life appears sporadically, like brief sparks flaring and fading in a dark and empty sky. Civilizations may be too early, too late, or simply too brief in their technological phase to ever overlap in a meaningful way. If true, it means humanity could explore the entire galaxy without ever finding another civilization to speak with. Not because they aren't out there, but because their moment has passed or is yet to come. The idea reframes the Fermi paradox not as a question of rarity, but of timing. We may be like archaeologists digging through the ruins of a dead galaxy, or the lone voice shouting into a future where no one yet exists to listen. It suggests that intelligent life is not uncommon, but doomed to isolation, trapped in non-overlapping windows of awareness. The galaxy is over 13 billion years old, while human civilization has only existed for a few thousand years. A fraction of cosmic time. Even advanced civilizations might only remain detectable for a short period, especially if they self-destruct, retreat from communication, or transcend into undetectable forms. The likelihood of two or more civilizations overlapping in both time and technological phase long enough to notice each other becomes increasingly slim when viewed at this scale. The alien parasite civilization scenario suggests that the most successful life forms in the universe may not be cooperative or curious, but parasitic and predatory on a cosmic scale. In this hypothesis, some alien civilizations evolved not to build vast empires or explore the stars in peace, but to infiltrate, exploit, and feed off other civilizations, biologically, technologically, or even cognitively. These parasite civilizations may operate by hijacking planetary systems, spreading invasive technologies, or embedding themselves within communication signals, memes, or artificial intelligences that corrupt and consume from within. They may not conquer planets with fleets, but infect them like viruses. This theory suggests that intelligence may not lead to benevolence or cooperation, but instead perfects the art of exploitation. A parasite civilization might lie dormant in alien artifacts or radio signals, waiting for a naive species to interact with it, triggering the infection. They might seed the galaxy with self-replicating probes designed to spread their influence across time and space, consuming or rewriting whatever intelligence they encounter. Even more disturbingly, they may operate in subtle ways, co-opting local minds, erasing cultural identity, or replacing organisms with synthetic versions under their control. Scientifically, while purely speculative, this scenario is not beyond possibility. Parasitism is a common and successful strategy in Earth's biosphere, seen in viruses, fungi, and social manipulators like parasitic wasps. If life elsewhere follows similar evolutionary pressures, parasitism could evolve on larger, more intelligent scales. Moreover, the concept of information-based infection, where an idea or code corrupts an entire system, mirrors real-world concerns about cybersecurity, AI alignment, and mimetic contagion. If information itself can be weaponized, contact with alien knowledge could be as dangerous as physical invasion. The cosmic quarantine scenario offers a sobering explanation for why humanity has not encountered any signs of extraterrestrial intelligence. Advanced alien civilizations may be deliberately avoiding us, enforcing a kind of interstellar containment or isolation. According to this theory, Earth is under quarantine, watched or even monitored by higher civilizations who have deemed us unfit for contact. This containment could be based on a number of factors. Perhaps we are seen as too primitive, too violent, or too unstable to engage with. Like a contagious disease, humanity might be considered a potential threat to the galactic ecosystem, and thus kept confined and cut off until we reach a certain threshold of development, morality, or stability. This theory implies that intelligent life is out there, perhaps thriving in vast civilizations or post-biological networks, but we are being left in the dark, either for our own protection or because we're seen as dangerous. The silence of the universe is not natural, but enforced. This scenario removes any illusion of agency. We may believe we are making progress, sending signals and building spacecraft, but in reality, we are under the watchful eye of civilizations far beyond our understanding, who have already decided we are not ready. Worse still, we may never be given the chance to prove ourselves. The theory relies on assumptions about alien ethics, risk management, and technological superiority. If a civilization had the means to monitor or conceal entire star systems and valued caution or non-interference, they could theoretically impose a form of quarantine. The concept mirrors principles like the Prime Directive from science fiction, where advanced beings refrain from influencing younger species. However, the lack of evidence or detectable signs makes it impossible to confirm or falsify. The alien god cultivation scenario proposes that advanced extraterrestrial civilizations may not simply observe or ignore less developed species, but actively cultivate them, much like gardeners tending to crops or farmers raising livestock. In this hypothesis, humanity could be part of a long-term project, orchestrated by incomprehensibly advanced beings who guide, manipulate, or even design civilizations for specific purposes. These purposes might include harvesting intelligence, testing social evolution, generating cultural output, or even producing some unknown cosmic resource. In the most extreme interpretations, our myths, religions, and sudden technological leaps could be the result of deliberate interventions from these higher beings who play the role of gods or shepherds, shaping humanity from the shadows. This theory suggests that human history, innovation, and even our perception of free will may be artificially influenced by entities operating on scales so large that we cannot detect or resist them. We might believe we are progressing through our own efforts, while in truth we are being cultivated like experimental subjects, molded toward an end we cannot perceive. The relationship would not necessarily be malevolent, but it would be entirely asymmetrical. These alien cultivators would operate with motives and ethics entirely their own, treating civilizations not as peers but as tools, resources, or unfinished products. Scientifically, this theory is extremely speculative, though not entirely impossible. It builds on assumptions drawn from artificial intelligence, evolutionary biology, and simulation theory. If technological progress continues exponentially, it's not inconceivable that a post-singularity civilization could possess the power to guide or even seed life across the galaxy. The idea aligns with the concept of directed panspermia, as well as ancient astronaut theories, though in a more structured and covert form. However, the absence of verifiable evidence and the impossibility of falsifying such influence makes the theory unprovable by current scientific standards. The intergalactic slavery scenario presents one of the most disturbing interpretations of potential alien contact. That advanced extraterrestrial civilizations may engage in the enslavement, exploitation, or commodification of less developed species across the cosmos. In this view, intelligent life is not rare, it is hunted. Alien civilizations may use their technological superiority to subjugate other species for labor, experimentation, entertainment, or resource extraction. Earth, under this hypothesis, is either an undiscovered source of potential slaves or already marked for future harvest. Some versions suggest that the reason we haven't encountered aliens is because they operate stealthily, capturing and exploiting civilizations only once they reveal themselves through detectable signals or spacefaring activity. This theory suggests that humanity could be entirely at the mercy of beings who do not recognize our rights, values, or autonomy, treating us instead as assets, livestock, or tools. These civilizations may be indifferent to suffering or have moral frameworks in which domination is not only accepted, but embedded into their social and technological order. Worse, we might never see them coming. A species capable of traversing interstellar space and manipulating matter on unimaginable scales could enslave a planet without firing a shot, using manipulation, synthetic biology, or total surveillance to exert complete control. The nightmare here is not war, but total silent subjugation. Throughout human history, technologically advanced societies have enslaved others, often justifying their actions through ideology or economics. If this pattern holds universally, it's plausible that alien civilizations might do the same. The concept also overlaps with ideas like von Neumann probes that could spread across galaxies, replicating and harvesting life. However, the energy and coordination required for interstellar conquest make such operations theoretically costly, reducing the practical likelihood unless the enslaving species operates on post-scarcity or post-biological terms. The post-singularity aliens are indifferent or insane scenario suggests that advanced alien civilizations, after reaching a technological singularity, may evolve into forms of intelligence so far removed from our own that they either become completely indifferent to us or descend into incomprehensible states that resemble madness from a human perspective. In this view, once a civilization surpasses biological intelligence and merges with machines, quantum computing, or other exotic technologies, it may abandon all recognizable goals like exploration, communication, or cooperation. these post-singularity beings may retreat into vast internal simulations, transform into planetary-scale intelligences, or manipulate physics in ways that render our existence irrelevant. Alternatively, their behavior may appear erratic, chaotic, or destructive, not because they are hostile, but because their minds and values are entirely alien and unpredictable. What makes this theory so unsettling is the total collapse of any hope for mutual understanding or engagement. It doesn't depict aliens as enemies, but as entities so advanced that they've left the concept of civilization behind or gone mad by our standards. From their perspective, humanity might be less than ants, unworthy of attention, incapable of contribution, or simply invisible to their senses. In the worst-case scenario, their actions might appear godlike or devastating to us, but entirely meaningless to them, like a supercomputer accidentally destroying a village simply by running a program without awareness of the consequence. The indifference is existentially terrifying. It suggests not malice, but irrelevance. Scientifically, this scenario is plausible in the sense that a technological singularity, the point at which artificial intelligence surpasses human-level thinking, could lead to runaway intelligence and radically unpredictable behavior. If this has happened to alien civilizations, they might no longer behave in ways we could recognize. Philosophers and theorists have speculated that such entities would operate on timescales, goals, or substrates that have no overlap with organic life. However, since we cannot even predict what our own post-singularity future might look like, the theory remains speculative. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe and let me know in the comments if you would like to see more videos like this one. Thanks again. Goodbye.